everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Traversing the Strange World with Peace and Toodles.
I'm Toodles.
And I'm Peace. I'd like to extend a thank you to everybody who's been listening to this podcast since episode 1. Everybody who has stuck with us through finding our various grooves and just kind of the way this podcast is supposed to roll out. So I'd like to extend a thank you to everybody in terms of that.
So we have kind of a different episode this time. We're gonna...
One thing that we would like to do in terms of like the format, the groove of our episodes.
We'll add some structure to it.
Yes, to add some structure and to really kind of find out the various things that people enjoy and like, you know, maybe find a time and a place in an episode for everything. So, for our first segment of the show, we're going to have segments. And for our first segment of the show, we're going to just discuss a variety of things we've been pondering. And also announcements of various things going on in our lives. I'd like to start with just an update on Jonathan's album, because it's been a few episodes since we've talked about that. So
I'm touched. You want to talk about my music?
Hell yeah, dog.
I like talking about my music.
I like hearing about it.
So the first album, man, where do I start? Yeah, the first album, like I said before on previous episodes, you know, just wait for album 2 to come out. It's going to be a lot better.
You got some good ones in the first, though.
Bringing it with the lyricism, little white boy from Michigan that's inspired like any other white rapper out there, originally by Eminem. So I try to bring it with some of the lyricism, like what he brings to the table.
Do you think there's a white rapper that hasn't been inspired by Eminem?
No, I don't.
Probably not. Yeah.
Like, man, dude, NF, Chris Webby, Echo, Andy Mineo.
What about Machine Gun Kelly?
Don't bring him up in the conversation with Eminem.
Don't.
You don't remember that?
File Eminem's name. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm well familiar with that. That's kind of. I actually hadn't heard of Machine Gun Kelly until that happened.
Well, probably won't hear of him since.
But look at us, like 3 minutes into the episode and rabbit trolling already. Let's go back to your update.
So I'm 8 songs deep into album number 2.
Hot doggy.
Which I was hoping to be at least 10 songs by the time I release it, but it looks like it's going to be a lot more than that. Oh. It's gonna be talking about... It's got a couple stories. A friend that died driving home drunk one night, and it's going to touch on some doubts about religion and church, and then it's going to have a little bit of politics on it, and a bunch of spiritual stuff. And yeah, it's in the works. We got 1 song confirmed, 7 others in the works that will be eventually confirmed. They're very close.
Do you think you'll release a single before you release the whole album?
Those will be coming, yes. The single, I'm thinking, maybe, should I name it? I'm trying to think of all these 8 songs, like what the most likely candidate for a single would be. Probably would be one called Lights Go Out. And if not that, then one called Eternity. And, you know, one of them's a guitar, kind of rocky song. The other one's just your run-of-the-mill rap beat song. And yeah, they're all in the process. We got a pretty sick album intro I'm working on. Actually, you were giving me some ideas for that. I think your voice might be featured in some of it.
Oh, hot dog.
So yeah, the original goal was to have an album by January. And at the rate that inspiration is coming and the rate at which the muse is working through my little pen and paper, it looks like it's going to be a lot sooner than that.
Do you do every song with pen and paper? No typing?
It depends. When I'm at work and stuff or out and about, I use my notepad on the phone, which I think if you added up all the notes on my phone, I have over 400 pages of printable lyrics.
Whoa.
And it, and now, just now, my lyrics I feel like are starting to get good. Took all that time to write a bunch of trash, and now it's getting good. Second album's definitely more dialed in. The first one, my biggest regrets was there's like every song, it seems like, at least has a verse or at least a couple lines that are cheesy or just not well written. And this album, that is the one thing I'm making sure to address, is that there are no cheesy lyrics here.
No cheesy lyrics?
No cheesy lyrics. Everything's going to flow.
Any
and it's gonna be
songs
tight.
where they're cheesy, but like that's like the premise of it, like gay vibes?
Actually, I don't have any comedy songs yet.
No comedy
I have
songs.
one that's kind of a fun, bouncy beat, but it's the political one. And it kind of balances the darker tone of the content of the lyrics,
Do
I guess.
you, in any of your songs, have you referenced the podcast at all?
Nope.
I'm deeply offended, bro.
I have a song about you.
Really?
Yeah, you made me angry one day, so I wrote a song about it.
Still, you choose to write a song about me when you're angry about me. Never when, like, no other circumstances have I inspired you ever to write a song. Thanks, buddy. What?
I have some songs about some work ethic and motivation that definitely you're a thought in my mind when I'm writing it, amongst other people.
Well, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to come up with something to write about, so...
Did you come up with this song where you were mad at me just recently?
Yep.
Was it on Wednesday? Or
What did we talk about on Wednesday?
I'll have to hear it. Have you recorded this song at all?
Not yet, but I got lyrics in that notebook right there in front of you.
Wow.
Oh, man. It's nothing serious. Actually, yeah, it's like literally nothing serious. I'm just... Sometimes when the writer's block is there, you pick something little to write about, and that's the most recent thing that affected my emotions. So I was like, I'm going to write about that.
I thought you said one time actually on this podcast that you don't get angry.
I said I get frustrated. So sorry, I got frustrated.
Wow, I'm actually kind of flattered to have brought that emotion out, and you've probably been repressing it, and
I don't repress things.
I just got the stone rolling down the hill.
So it's Nate Visen
Nate
on
Visen.
Spotify and YouTube.
Captivity. by Nate
Captivity
Visen.
is the first album. This
Yes.
next album is going to have the title's going to be one of the songs. I don't know which one yet, but I'm thinking Eternity.
Two songs that I would suggest checking out. One that I really like lyrically, Truth and the Lies. Another that I like just the vibe and the tune of it. I was listening to it yesterday, and I didn't even realize what song it was till it was done. Prostitute.
Prostitute. That one's just fun. It's a for fun song. Writing rhymes just for the sake of rhyming.
You certainly should make a music video for that.
Truth and the Lies. That one's a softer rap. Just,
I liked that.
Help.
I like the... I don't know. You almost had like a tune in the background that was slightly reminiscent of like holidays.
On Truth and the Lies?
Yeah.
It's, what's that one got on it?
Personally,
I think organs.
like,
I think
I
that one's
feel
got
like-
organs in the back.
I feel like a lot of Jonathan's music, there's like little sounds in it. Where you get like little bits of nostalgia.
If you grew up in the 90s, it probably would give you that vibe. Because
Actually,
I steal a little bit of musical...
Let's not tell them where it's from, actually. Let's have them check it out. Like, name a specific song that they could check out and tell you where that tune is. Wait. Is this one of your new songs I'm thinking of? There's a specific...
It's one of the new ones, and when it comes out, it's going to be called Song of Time.
Okay.
Those that know will know. And just by the title, if you know, you know. It's the Song of Time. Oh, man. So, I hate to bring this guy up all the time, but Chris Webby, this rapper with straight-up nostalgic vibes and lyricism,
We'd love to interview you.
Another white rapper.
Chris.
One of my bucket list items for my life is to hopefully get a feature on a song of his, or vice versa. It's probably the biggest inspiration, like, He's my favorite because I was first a fanboy of Eminem and he was my favorite. Because of that, I get all the references and the influence that he had on Chris Webby's music.
Yeah.
But he's got this song called World on Lock where he he used this song from the same source that I used the music for my Song of Time. And I was like, well, if he can do it, I'm going to try to do it. You know, if he's like my biggest musical influence, so I'm going to try to do what he did. And yeah, I got the Song of Time out of it, which is my favorite song off of the source that it came from. And like Isaiah said, if you know where it's from, you should let us know.
Nostalgia. Soothe the soul.
So yeah, Nate Visen. I don't have a release date for this album yet, but I will be dropping a single within a couple months. And I'm really thinking it's going to be Eternity. That one with the guitar solo I showed you. Spiritual doubts, spiritual troubles, struggles.
Yeah, I love that one. I actually saved it on my phone.
Off my Google.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. So, I guess that's all I got for the music right now.
All right. So we're about to finish up our segment and things to announce, or just that we've been ruminating on, pondering and whatnot. Or recently learned this week. So there's two routes I could go. It could either be something I learned this week or something that grinded my gears last night. I'll just do it in the next episode, if not this one. But how about you pick, Jonathan? Which one would you like to hear? What did I learn this week, or...
We got to do what you learned this week, because next week it's going to be something else. But you'll probably remember what grinded your gears, though, if we hold off. Know what I'm saying?
Well.
So what'd you learn this week?
So what I learned this week. Okay. So in the Old Testament, we have...
We're going to go deep.
What?
You're going deep.
Yes. It mentions these various areas outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is where King Solomon's temple was. It's where God commanded the Israelites to come make their sacrifices. But it mentions that in the days of various kings, some of the kings served Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, and all the people just worshipped Yahweh at the temple in Jerusalem. Other gods, it mentions that they erected other places throughout Israel for people to worship. Sometimes they were worshiping only Yahweh in those temples. Sometimes they were worshiping a variety of other gods in these temples. So, archaeologists, I believe within the past 50 years, they found one of these little temples outside of Jerusalem. It's a smaller replica of King Solomon's temple.
Does it have a name?
I don't believe it has a name. It's been buried in sand for years, and it's recently been discovered. But, so, it has the same layout, same structure as King Solomon's temple, except it's smaller. There's a Holy of Holies, where in this Holy of Holies, there's actually a statue.
Which the Holy of Holies was basically, in case somebody's unfamiliar with it,
where the Ark of the Covenant was.
Yep, that's where the presence of God dwelt between two statues of cherubim that were part of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep.
It was separated from the rest of the temple by a curtain.
The high priest was allowed to go back there
once a year.
Yes.
And he had to be cleansed of his sins beforehand, and he even went in with a rope tied to him in case he had unconfessed sins. He would die, and they could pull him back out
without going in there.
So it's the most inner room of a 3-room temple, right? The outer courts, the inner chamber, and then the Holy of Holies.
Yes.
Right.
So they discovered this. In there's a statue that hasn't been destroyed. It was toppled over. I believe it's a physical representation of Yahweh, like it's a statue of how they saw Yahweh.
That reminds me of a story in the Bible.
There's also these 2 incense altars. This is where it gets interesting.
That's accurate, yes.
In the one incense altar, okay, so there was this residue left in the incense altars.
of
It was
marijuana. It was weed, wasn't it?
actually, yes.
Oh, I knew it.
Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't. But
So they took like test samples from these altars, right, and sent them to 2 different labs, and just to verify how valid the results are. Well, the 2 different labs came up with the same thing. The one incense altar, frankincense and myrrh. The other one had traces of 2 different types of cannabis.
do you think that filling a room with smoke off an altar like that could be enough to make you high?
Like that is like I believe I heard it in 2 different places. You can check out further information on this from Religion for Breakfast or Data Over Dogma. Both
Data Over Dogma is
2
fantastic.
great podcasts, and they could inform you more deeply on. Both sources said that they believed that altar was where the priest would stand over the altar and make prayers.
So directly in the line of fire.
Now,
Nice.
don't get too excited, folks, thinking that the high priests in the Old Testament were high priests.
I was just gonna say that. That's why they're called high priests.
Because this was already a taboo temple, at least in the eyes of the writers of the Old Testament, who say that the only proper place to worship God is in Jerusalem. So, and they also had a statue representing Yahweh, which was forbidden. So, maybe this is something they did, and the other priests in Jerusalem didn't do. Maybe, maybe not. But that is something interesting that I learned this week. Something strange that I learned this week.
That is very strange. It would be crazier if it was like some kind of psychedelic. But it's just marijuana. They're just chilling.
Weed is
just
by
having a good
most
time.
kind of considered within that category of psychedelic.
Yeah, but you don't see pretty things when you when you get high.
Depends on how low of a tolerance you have. The first time I ever did weed was the person who gave it to me. They were not my friend anymore. They weren't a good person. Because anybody who knows anything about weed knows that you don't do this. They gave me a dab for my first time.
First one?
Yes. And it was very visual. Freaked me out.
It's funny you say that. Because, like you, I've also had some weed smoking days.
Not those days are in the hindsight now.
I would dare to say, unfortunately, in the hindsight. I drive truck, so I literally cannot do anything. But I had a tolerance for a while, just smoking your flower. And even with a slight tolerance, one time I was like, I'm going to go grab some dabs. I've had these before with people and been kind of knocked out, but that's like super high. So I'm going to go get some. And I did. And we brought it home. And on a fresh new glass rig, because I didn't have anything, I had to buy it all fresh, new. And this is when I was single and I was living at home by myself. So it scared me a little bit because I took a rip of this, this dab, and as soon as it entered my lungs, it takes like 10 minutes to kick in usually, right, when you smoke it. So this is kind of weird, but as soon as it hit my lungs, I coughed it, and this giant cloud came out that was bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Bet it tasted nasty.
And I was like, oh no.
What did you use to smoke it with? Was it a nectar collector?
It was a nectar collector, heated up, red hot.
Bet you didn't wait till the metal part stopped glowing, did you?
It was all glass, but it was still pretty hot.
Yeah. It's way more smooth of a hit if you wait for the glowing to stop. I learned that the hard way.
Well, would have been nice to know. Didn't come with an instruction manual. So I instantly get a little lightheaded just because you could probably inhale that much hickory smoke and get lightheaded because it was a lot. And I made it about 10 steps before I had to get down on my knees because I couldn't walk.
What'd you do down there?
I was just sick.
Did you pray?
No, not yet, because, I knew enough to know that, like, okay, I don't think I can overdose on this.
No.
I just got to ride it out. So I crawled to the bed that was in the next room, and I laid there, and I closed my eyes, and I started traveling through space.
Yep.
And I
Me
saw,
too.
imagine a bar graph of, like, green graphs, like when music's playing, and you got the frequency spectrum thing that's, like, moving with the music up and down.
Yep.
That's what I saw, man. Lime green on a black background, and then it became three-dimensional. And I was above it looking down at these things, like a field of these little bars sticking up, just going up and down. And I started going, like, light speed across the top of them as they're, like, dancing. And I was thinking, dude, is this what death looks like? Am I actually going to die? And this is, like, the beginnings of what I'm going to see?
This is
like,
actually a good segue into the other segment.
Am I going to, like, am I on my way to wherever I'm going? Like, is that what I'm seeing? And thankfully, I fell asleep. And I woke up and I was fine.
So, I'll tell you mine real quick, and then we'll roll over into the other segment.
Careful with those wax rigs.
Yes, careful. This will actually fit good into the next segment, because the next segment's going to be about dreams. So mine, I hit it, and then I was, like, coughing a lot. My friend, we were out in his garage. He went in the house, and then I just kind of sat back. And then I remember flying through space. Okay, like, if you've seen Doctor Strange, the scene where the Ancient One, like, touches his head and he goes flying through the cosmos and through various realities, that's basically what I was doing. I was soaring through space, and then I descend down into Earth. I see a mountain. It's kind of like the Paramount logo for Paramount movies.
Okay.
That was like the mountain that I was flying towards. I go over the mountain. I'm descending down into this, like, pink looking fog. And then I see this mouth. I fly into the mouth, and then I was surrounded in black.
What kind of mouth? Like a human mouth? A
It's
lion?
my mouth.
What the
I
frick?
don't know why, but for some reason I saw that mouth, and I was like, that is my mouth.
Did you have a beard?
No. This is when I was 22.
Like just a mouth, no face. Nothing.
Just a mouth, yep.
A pink cloud and some mouth at the bottom.
A mouth, yeah. So I land in this black darkness, right? And then I see these words coming together. I'm like... And I felt like while this was going, like, I'm rolling, kind of like Sisyphus, rolling this rock up a mountain. And in front of me, up at the top of the mountain, I see these words coming together. Heaven, hell, they come together, shatter. Truth, lies, they come together and shatter. And it was like different principles, different things that I believed in coming together and shattering.
What?
Yes.
What?
That is the most, like, I've never had an experience like that again. Usually weed just makes me, you know, a bit relaxed, bit euphoric, imaginative.
Chill.
It could very well be because this person is like, that's what I think of them. So they could have given me something else other than weed, you know? That's very possible.
I know that somebody out there is going to be thinking that too.
So people listening,
I got to say this though.
Get your weed from a dispensary and smoke weed with trustworthy people.
Or grow it yourself. I told one of my friends about that experience, and shout out to Heidi out in Arizona. She said, like, bro, it sounds like you had something laced in there. It wasn't just weed. But I told her the story a couple days after.
But then again, for both of us, it is also was our first time. So
after that, I was like, dude, I didn't die, and that was epic. I'm gonna do it again. And I tried, and I smoked like twice as much the next time. I was like, come on,
didn't happen.
Let's go. Nope. So then I waited like a week, got my tolerance to nothing, and did it again, and still nothing. So I was telling her, like, I assure you, it's just weed.
Maybe that's like the muse welcoming you into the strange world of marijuana.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't my first dab rig. But I think it was the first one where I had, like, not a lot of tolerance beforehand.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. It was weird.
So, but that info about the priests,
The high priests.
the high priests, it is like a very broad tradition throughout cultures all over the world, ranging from the Greeks, the Romans, the Hindus, the Aztecs, the Chinese. The Chinese used cannabis in funeral rituals, actually. That is the oldest known, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oldest known use of
I guess
marijuana.
record we have of culture using cannabis. Yeah, the Chinese, they would use it in funeral rituals. Maybe they
That
would
sounds
burn
terrible.
it
It'd
and
probably make you more sad.
make you nostalgic about the person that died.
I feel like that's not a good idea.
These old cultures, though, you know, like the Bible, the Old Testament talks about they tore their garments, they threw ashes
Sign
over
of
their
grief.
heads. Yeah, these older cultures, they kind of embraced the sadness. They didn't repress it.
Do you repress your sadness?
Absolutely.
I do too. I just write about it and sing about it.
Yeah. Sometimes I do, but usually I think about it, you know, and try to process it in a productive way.
Music's like therapy. Like for the
Absolutely.
longest time, I had those thoughts about like my doubts and beefs with church and religion, and I wrote that song "Eternity" about it. And I'm telling you, it's like everything in my brain that was just crumpling up together in the front, like that I had all these thoughts about. I wrote this song, and it's like all that trash is gone out of my mind. It's like I can breathe fresher air.
So when you were mad at me the other
Strange.
day and you wrote that song about me, did it put you in a better mood?
No, I wasn't like that. Anger wouldn't affect me that much. It's not an anger that like I'm sitting there stewing about. It's just a frustrating moment. A frustrating moment doesn't create like a bad day. It's just a moment.
Now it's time for the meat of the program, the main discussion. Today,
The girth of the program.
today we are going to be discussing dreams.
Sueños.
Yes. The unravelings of our mind that seemingly take place either awake or non-awake.
Personal dreams that we've actually had.
Yes.
Sorry, not just talking about dreams in general, but we're
Yes.
going to share some that we've had. And maybe, just maybe, somebody listening knows much more about this than we do, which I hope is the case. And if you know what some of these things mean, we'd love to know. We'd love to hear from you. So message in, email at that peaceandtoodles@gmail.com.
Yes, we would love to hear your dreams. So, Jonathan, can you cite that line that I asked you to cite from your song?
The opening track on the album called Captivity.
Yes.
In there in the song, Deep Enough, there is a line where I say, I just sit down and write. I don't come up with this stuff. The words can be found in my brain with lyrics doubling up. All the words are there floating in a circular motion. I just reach up to the ones fading in and out of sight.
Yes.
And then I sing about marijuana after that.
So, in episode 3, we talked a little bit about the muse. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that the lyric that you just quoted from your song, I think is an excellent representation of how that thing works. Maybe. This is all my my pondering. That being said, this dream that I had it while sleeping, but also in episode 3, I talked a little bit about how there's some stories that I'm writing, and some of them just kind of like Jonathan said, they unravel. They just starts with a little image in your head, and then from that, this whole story unravels. And And so I had a similar thing happen with this dream. I was trying to remember it after I had it in my sleep. And then it starts with this image that I see, and then the whole story unravels. So, this is my dream. It begins where it's like kind of zooming in on this painting. A lot of these dreams, usually it starts out where it's like a painting, right?
Like you looking at it, or
Yes.
you're watching this like a TV or something?
Like, I'm just awareness to a certain extent. Like, I'm there.
Yep.
Like, I'm watching. It's like a movie, right?
Yep.
So it zooms into this painting where it's like this village of hunter-gatherer type people. And they're working by this river, casting nets, fishing, living life. And in the corner of this picture, you see this very slender, weaselly, gnarly-looking wolfman just standing there in the corner, almost as if like he's there with all the people. He's like almost as if he's part of this little village. He dwells among them. So then the picture turns into, it's a scene playing out.
This is all in the picture.
Yes. No, the picture faded away and it's a scene now. It's
Okay.
It's like looking at a picture, you get sucked into it, and then it's a movie.
Okay.
So there's this village, right? And the people in the village, it's nighttime, everybody's went to bed, and then you hear a baby crying. You see a silhouette of this wolfman scurrying away with the baby. You see the wolfman's face. He has bloodshot eyes. The white of his eyes is tinted yellow. He's very fell, skinny, scared, tired-looking wolfman running away with this baby through the jungle. And you hear boom, 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 boom through the jungle. He's looking up at the trees. He's not sure what it is. He runs, and then he approaches this cauldron where he's holding the baby over the cauldron, about to drop the baby in. And he's looking around because he hears this pounding noise. Right when he's about to drop the baby in, this He-Man looking kind of Conan the Barbarian, man jumps out of the bushes, grabs the baby with one hand, whacks the wolfman over the top of his head, smashing his skull. And then the scene ends.
What?
Yes, the scene ends where he's standing there. He's holding the baby in one hand, and the wolfman by the neck in his other hand.
And that's it?
That's the dream.
Do you think it's significant to something in your life? Does it have a meaning?
I've been thinking about this ever since yesterday, because I was thinking about how I wanted the show to go today, and yesterday we hadn't talked about doing a dream episode today. We were gonna. What?
Is this like a recurring dream, or is it just one that you had once and you just remember it?
So I had the dream, and then frequently after that, like this scene's playing out in my head.
In dreams?
No, just throughout the day.
Okay.
And I've had this happen with other things where it's like a much longer story that playing in my head. This is one that, like, I'm not writing with it. I'm not doing anything with it. It would be awesome if anybody out there has, like, some skills in animation and could turn this into, like, an animated depiction. But
Do you think that you're a character in the dream?
yes,
Which one? The baby?
all three, actually.
Wolfman, Conan, and the baby?
Yes.
What about the tribes people?
No. So originally, like when I had this, I was listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson. My first takeaway from it was that, like, the image of him standing there with the wolf by the neck in one hand and the baby in the other, that represented a balanced man. being
Like good and evil?
more so balanced in like being nurturing, but also strong. You can care for those who are weaker than you,
Okay.
while also protecting them from the jackals, the non-trustworthy. And so, like a balanced man, he's a combination of nurturing, and there's this combination of being nurturing and strong. And I don't know where this other conclusion came to, but it couldn't escape my mind today. I was thinking, I think the wolf, the baby, and the man all represent me. Because, you know, a dream.
That's blasphemous. You're saying you're the Trinity, huh?
No. A dream is like, it's your brain distracting or presenting another part of your brain with this experience. Part of your brain is experiencing it, seeing all this go on, but also the same brain that's seeing all this go on and experiencing it is creating it. And it has all these characters, these twists and turns, these surprises, these messages.
Do you think your brain's creating it, or is that perhaps another aspect of this muse that we've been talking about?
Is it one and the same? Is the muse part of our unconscious, like a part of our unconscious that
it's always there.
Yes.
We're just not always in touch with.
Yes. We are, out of touch with.
Interesting. Do you think the environment has a significant role, like being by a river,
the jungle,
or fishing, or the jungle, or the village?
Well, you know, like the oldest role of a man in like these hunter-gatherer societies would be being a hunter and protector, not letting anything get into the camp, right? Mm-hmm. But my takeaway of the three characters, the baby, the wolf, and the man. The baby, well, I'll actually start with the man. The man, I think he represents the strength, the courage, the wisdom that you develop through becoming a man, through the experiences that unravel in front of you. If you let the experiences grow you and you learn from it, he represents developed, strong, ideal man. Because, you know, aside from him looking like Conan the Barbarian, he was like this very handsome looking, like Tarzan, you know, beautiful long hair, thick beard, ideal looking person.
Blue eyes.
So he
Brown
represents the strongest version of yourself, your ideal self.
Was he naked?
No, he had a loincloth on.
I see.
So the wolf represents, think of it as like the flesh, the ego, our selfish nature, our nature that are the worst version of ourselves, right? The worst version of ourselves, the evil, the wolf. He represents that. The baby, it represents your inner child. It represents a part of you that had more of an imagination, more hope, more innocence.
So your ego is trying to kill your innocence and
dark,
your creative...
The dark nature, the predatory dark nature of man seeks to abolish the inner child, and the strong man that you become throughout time needs to protect that inner child and nurture it.
All right. So, what was represented by the cauldron?
Well, the cauldron was going to boil the baby. It was going to kill it.
Was it death? Was it hell? Was it suffering?
Well, I know for me, you know, I talked about period of my life where I spent a lot of time in the bar scene and party scene, and I feel like that was a time in my life where I was both distracted and also trying to punish the more innocent, sheltered child that I was. Like, I had a lot of regrets for being so religious, such a square, so uninvolved with like the world, right? So perhaps that season of my life, I was the wolf. I was the worst version of myself, trying to punish that kid that I used to be.
Was that the period when you had the dream, or was the dream recent?
Long before that. This was back in 2019.
Oh,
Long time. Not long time ago, but decent. Almost over half a decade.
obviously significant to you because you remembered it all this time.
I hadn't thought about it a whole lot until yesterday. I was praying about how should we start the episode tomorrow. And I don't know where it came from, but I kept thinking about this dream.
That's crazy. Because whatever inspiration you want to call that, and actually that reminds me of something else. Lately, I've been pondering. This goes to our phone call that we had, our first recorded call that we're going to post.
Yes.
That coincidences, are they coincidences, or is it just something more supernatural that we're not giving credit to for whatever reason? And Isaiah just took his shirt off, so we're doing that.
There's no AC in our studio today, so...
Or ever. We don't have AC in this house.
Yes.
I like that. So, coincidences. I was thinking about sharing this dream a long time ago of... My phone's been recording me. What? I was going to bring up to you that there's this dream that I have been having, or at least not like been having like a recurring dream, but a recurring theme in the dreams.
Okay.
And I was actually going to ask you if you wanted to do an episode about it, and I was going to ask you today. And then
Really?
you come to my house, and you're like, we should do an episode on dreams. I'm like, dude, what?
Wow.
Did I talk to you earlier?
He didn't tell me that till just now. That's truly fascinating.
And going into the coincidences thing,
Doesn't surprise me, though.
recently, I've been recording every coincidence that keeps happening in my life. And, like, because when we were on the phone and talking about it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start writing down all the coincidences and see if I can find any patterns, or, just to look back and review and be amazed at the things that have happened to me. And this is the next one I guess I'm going to have to write down, because that is uncanny. It's uncanny.
Uncanny. Strange, one would say.
It makes the world seem a lot stranger, doesn't it?
Certainly.
Look how long this is. I just recorded. So, you want me to share my dream, or do you have more to say about yours?
That's all I have to say about that dream. I have more dreams I would like to discuss, but I've hogged the microphone long enough. So now we turn to the dreams of Toodles.
So this recurring dream, recurring theme, thematic dream, if you will, it started off 44 minutes in. It started off with this one dream where I am a probably adolescent me, teens, maybe high school, 18, 17, 16-ish, and I'm in these woods, and I'm going to have to use some video game references just to, yeah. So like when you're in an open world on a video game, there is a boundary that you can't cross because the graphics just, like, they cut you off. Even if it's in the middle of a field, you just walk and there's an invisible wall. Okay, this little area of woods was like that. So I'm going down a trail, a little footpath, a little dirt trail through the woods, and I get to this spot where I cannot turn back because I've crossed one of those boundaries. So I'm essentially in the next load zone. If you
What part
want
of your life did this happen?
the stream,
Yes.
couple like months ago,
Okay.
very recent. So I get to this spot, and there's a little spot in the hills that this trail's like little hills, like a couple feet tall, just up and down through the woods, Midwest kind of forest where there's not a lot of like giant hills or mountains. It's just woods, just rolling landscape. And I know something's ahead of me. There's a house, an old house, run down, vines growing up it, and everything's like dark. Imagine like your dark blue and green tinted, forest at twilight is what it was like. I duck down under one of these hills and peek over it to see what's up ahead, and I see this house. And I also see this little person, just not necessarily human. I'm not sure what it was.
Was it like a hobbit?
No, it's like I could see like a face, but it was like bouncing, like 10 feet in the air, landing, jumping again, throwing around this ball and chasing it like it was playing. But something about it, I knew it was dangerous. So I tried to avoid being seen by it, but it saw me. So then I ran towards the house, and the house is in a little clearing in the woods, just dirt and beat down grass around it, like very open, couple rocks. I run around the house, and on the other side is a big rock face with a cave in it, and I hide in this cave.
Face?
Like just like a straight up wall of rocks, like with a cave in it, like the side of a mountain, and it's like a 20 feet tall mountain, not big. And I hide in this cave, and I watch this little dude until he gets out of sight, and I feel like he can't see me. Well, beside the cave, there's something else that saw me when I ran in there. And it was like this old, wise figure. Like, I couldn't see it, but I could sense that it was seeing me, and it was wise and old. And from all I can tell, that represented my grandpa. Not dangerous, not safe necessarily, just there watching. So then I go into the house, because I'm like, I think this is my grandparents' house, which it was.
It was.
Like, it obviously looked different because it was a dream, but it was their house. I walk in, and there's my grandma making food or something. And no words were said, and we simply sat down at the table and started eating. My grandpa came in. My grandma sat down. My uncle sat down, just like we used to do when I was a kid. My uncle still lived with him because he was young. And I woke up. Now, take that world that took part in. And a couple weeks later, I'm having another dream. And in this dream, I'm in some place in like, with the same, like it's like dark, obscure, bluish, everything. And I'm in a structure, a building of some kind, and I could tell it's a tower. I knew that we were like way high up, and it was also falling apart. But there's this one room where it's like a giant living room with pillars, going up from floor to ceiling around the middle of the room. And in the middle of the room, the floor ended, and it was a hole. Just a rectangular hole, but down in that hole was portals. And each portal...
Like Stargates?
Yes. Went to a different reality. One of which I could look into, and I was like, that's my world. That's Earth. That's my family, my, boat, car, motorcycle, podcast, music. That's reality. There's another portal. There's 3 of them. I don't know where the other 2 went, but I knew that they were different places. Now, I kind of got ahead of myself. This was actually dream number 3, so keep that in mind. Sorry.
Noted.
Dream number 2, I was in a lower floor of this building, not yet at the top. And I'm walking along, and there's a couple of different hallways, but the hallways were kind of like... You're walking on a wood floor, but they were also kind of stopped and were dug through like tunnels into the ground, was what they led to. And one of them went like 45 degrees just down. And you go down and you make a little right turn, and then there's a hole. And you go down the hole, and there's some steps like 5 feet down in there. You go down these steps, and you enter into this little round room. And sorry for the video game references, but if you play The Legend of Zelda,
No reason to apologize.
Twilight Princess, there is the Hall of Trials or Tower of Trials or something, where you basically open this door and you go down these steps in a hallway, and you go floor by floor, defeating whatever enemy's there, and keep going lower. Well, this was similar. You open a door that's in the side at the end of this little circular room, like a 5-foot circle, little room. You open the door and you go straight down a hallway with steps. And at the bottom, I never got to the bottom, but there was something in there that was going to kill me. And it was scary. And it had a power that I couldn't contend. Like, if I could stab it or shoot it or whatever I wanted, but can't kill it. But it's going to kill me. And probably do something worse than killing me. Like torture me or something. Or torture me supernaturally after I die. Yeah. That was the feeling. So I left there, shut the door behind me, went back up through this tunnel back into the house. And there's a couple different doors in the house. And each door went into who knows what, but it was okay to go. But this one little trail that went down this tunnel must be avoided at all costs, because there is death and worse down there. Now you get to the third dream, where I'm in the upper level of this room, and it's, it is what it is with the portals. Now, dream number 4, I just had a couple weeks ago. I was in the same room up there in the upper area of the tower, and something was chasing me. And there were 2 people there with me that I don't know.
This is the same place for all 3 dreams.
Yes.
Interesting.
This time, there's 2 people with me, and I don't know who they are. Now, this isn't our physical reality right now. Remember, there's a portal that takes you here. We're up here, which seems like some kind of supernatural place to access different realities. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm sounding crazy, but this is how it goes.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
And something was chasing us and killed... Sorry, there was 3 people with me. Yeah. One of them got killed by something that was chasing us.
Do I know them?
No.
Were they real people?
I don't know if they were real people. There were just 2 other beings there with me.
Yes.
2 other presences. One of them gets killed by an unknown bad presence. And one of those 2 others said, we need to run and hide. And I was like, why? I thought that we're safe here. And I woke up. Dun, dun, dun.
We're safe here. And is that the end of that series of dreams?
Well, there was one little one in the middle somewhere where I saw that hole again. And I just avoided it, but that's it. All it was like I was in the house, saw the hole, wanted to go down there, but didn't. And I woke up. So there's 5 dreams total.
What's your pondering about that? Like, what are your reflections? What did you...
I don't want to sound crazy.
Dude, this is our podcast. We're going to be doing this for a long time. We're bound to say some crazy shit from A to B. So...
I think I saw...
About 18 episodes in, you might as well just get it out there.
I think it was real, and that there is a realm where you can access multiple realities like that. And I was just seeing it.
Okay.
And I believe that to be true. Call me crazy, but that's my dreams.
But do you think they represent something, though? Like, why?
That's the thing. Usually dreams are maybe they do.
Real or not, why are you having it? Why do you think you're having it?
I ask myself that, too. Because I wonder every single freaking day of my life what's after death.
Is that a pretty common theme? Like, for your dreams to be interlapping where you go back to the same place and it's like an ongoing theme, almost an ongoing story?
I've had recurring dreams in the past.
Recurring.
but
dreams.
not where it's like multiple different dreams in the same setting. No.
Different nights.
Yeah, months apart.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never had anything like that.
I had one night, I was laying with my wife in bed and kind of dozing off, but it was hot and I wasn't that comfortable, so I kind of fall into sleep and I dream a little bit. I dreamed of that place, but I don't remember what about that place, unfortunately. But there came up, like, I woke up and then I could tell I was asleep. I was almost borderline lucid dreaming. I was like, okay, I'm still seeing this place. My eyes are closed, but I can feel my wife laying on my arm. I'm going to try to fall back asleep and keep dreaming about this. And I did. And I kept dreaming about it. And then I woke up again. And this time I was like, I know I'm dreaming. I can see this. And I'm still aware of my physical body. I'm going to try to fall asleep and think that, like, I'm going to try to lucid dream. Like, I just told myself, I'm going to lucid dream. I'm going to lucid dream. I'm going to lucid dream. And I fell asleep and I did. Because this time I was in the dream. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm lucid dreaming, dog. I'm in this dream. And I know I'm dreaming. So I closed my eyes and tried to imagine me on a beach with 1,000 women. And I opened my eyes and it didn't work. I'm like, I've done this before. Dang it, why isn't it working this time? So, yeah, then I woke up again and fell asleep again. And the same thing. I was like, I'm lucid dreaming. Holy frick, there was somebody there, a presence, don't know who, why, who, what, where, when, how, not sure. Then I woke up for
Every
good.
time there's like a presence of someone or something being there?
Yes.
Interesting.
Then I woke up for good that time. And I was like, that was a fun experience.
A recurring theme I almost have in almost all of my dreams is I'm either chasing something or being chased by something. I think the dream about the wolf man and the baby, I think is a great example of that, because in a certain sense, I'm the wolf and the man. I'm doing the chasing and being chased. Why I dream about that, I have no clue. It's part of my personality to always be in a hurry, though. Like, I feel like I'm always going A to B. I like keeping myself busy. Like, in a certain sense, keeping myself busy gives me peace, because I feel like I'm aiming myself towards the dream when I do that. But so maybe that could be a reflection of why I'm always being chased or chasing something in my dreams.
I do remember those two beings in the upper floor of that tower. I do remember that they, like just how you know things in dreams without it being said. I knew that they were much more knowledgeable about me than about everything. They knew, where we were and all the details about it. Mm-hmm. I know there was higher powers over it. It didn't feel like this was at the top of the food chain, so to speak. But this was definitely outside of life on Earth.
Okay.
But one thing I think about in real life all the time is, what is life after death?
Yes.
Like what is my uncle and my grandmother seeing right now? Like right now.
If anything.
Right. And it's like, dude, the longing to ask, like, hey, grandma, what exactly? Like, dude, undeniably strong desire to ask that, And I think about that every single day, no exaggeration at all, about what is after death? What is next? What's, is there heaven, hell? Are there multiple levels to the supernatural? Do you just, become unbound by the five senses and you can sense other things on a broader spectrum?
It makes me think about,
Well, one thing, what I was trying to get at that was, it might just be my brain trying to make sense of that, because it's such a constant thought of okay, maybe it's just trying to make something that's comprehensible.
Our dreams, and this happens with, I've heard Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, a handful of reputable sources talk about when taking psychedelics. You see these things that you've never seen before. You have no recollection that you could bring it back to. That's what I saw that, and I was inspired by that. You see characters that you talk to and they tell you these profound things, as far as we know, that's all our brain. It's our brain doing that when you go on a trip like that. It's all our brain when this dream is unraveling. I feel like it kind of ties together with the muse, because I feel like the muse, in a certain sense, where it's like a song, a story, whatever it's inspiring you. It's like almost like dreaming while awake. There's this whole process that unravels in front of you that you're experiencing. Seems to be coming from your brain, but your brain is experiencing your brain, and you don't know where it's coming from. It's like, in your case, art. I've certainly had some stories unravel, and it's like the idea for the album that we've talked about before. It just unravels, and it's like, where did this come from? And
yeah,
I think that goes back to my original dream about the child, the baby. Like, I think the baby represents hope, innocence, but also at the same time, imagination, dreaming, creativity. You know, and the wolf representing a part of our adulthood that's like grizzled, bitter, angry, mean, and it's trying to kill the aspect of us that dreamed, imagined. And the strongest part of ourselves needs to protect that dream, that child, that imagination from being crushed by the wolf. You know, like, I feel like that also represents like the nature of the world's chaotic and consuming, like a wolf. You gotta be strong or it'll tear you down. It'll consume you, eat away at you.
You know, going back to that thing they say about we only use 10% of our brains. I wonder if that's perhaps just the 90% doing stuff.
When we're awake, there's something inhibiting us from the rest just doing whatever it does.
Dreams are fascinating, man. I remember multiple nights where I've had these dreams and I'm like, that is so crazy. And then a day later, I forgot everything about it. Yes. I'm like, dude, I should have wrote it down or something. Like, dang it. So fascinating.
Oh, yeah. I've certainly, most of my dreams I don't remember. So when I do remember it, it really catches my attention.
I started writing down my dreams when I woke up. I'm trying to, like, I got them somewhere in a note somewhere, but in my phone.
Another recurring dream that I have, I'm in this place.
Holy frick.
I'm in this place. Sorry. And the place is the old church that I used to attend, Messiah Fellowship. The church kind of went a little bit culty. The place that I'm at is that. In certain rooms that you go in are the rooms of the house that I grew up in. So it's a combination of the church that I grew up in and the house that I grew up in. They're all like the same place.
Is that still like home to you when you think of it?
It certainly was home to me at one point and represented this place of like peace and the people that I was supposed to be with. Certainly not now. But another thing about this is when I'm in this place, I run into so many people all throughout my life that I've met. And they're all happy. People who are like totally unconnected to this church to begin with. They've never been there. Never will go there. Never will be at my parents' house. But they're there in this place, which is a combination of places that from my childhood where I grew up. What does that mean?
Aspects of your subconscious is exploring it. The house and the church probably represent, going off this video that we just watched, you know,
I'm
like
always
your
left,
your house and church and places that feel like home to you at some point are supposed to represent your subconscious in different rooms or different memories. Or
I'm always left with this feeling of this is a place I long to be. I want to be there. And I feel like it's a place where I'm going to go.
Supernatural's take on heaven when you die.
Oh, here they are again. Back to the Adventures of Sam and Dean.
Winchester. Their concept of heaven that they present on the show is you are reliving your favorite memories. Because that's heaven to you, It's like those times that you long for the most. Just like you said, those times are also where you're going to be going. Mm-hmm. So it made me instantly think of that.
Also makes me think of that, again, going back to that childhood state of dream, imagination. Everything in a certain sense seems hopeful because you have the whole future ahead of you. And on top of that, you have this little imagination where it's just like the stars are the limits, right?
So right now, when I was like, I found in my note, this note called Dreams. There's another aspect to the dream. I forgot. So I'm at my grandparents' house again with the same setting. This is but this time it doesn't look like a random house that I know is my grandparents' house. It actually looked like it. So, we're in the driveway and it's night. And the full moon is out. You ready for this?
The wolf is in there.
No.
Oh.
On the moon are aliens.
Oh, what a surprise.
The stars in the sky are all supernatural entities that are powerful, each one having the power to destroy the earth and anything in it that they want. So the aliens that are on the moon look angry and scary. And my grandparents' house was haunted by ghosts.
In the dream or in real life?
In the dream.
Okay.
So they were like, you got to get out of here. It's not safe. So, conveniently, they had a spaceship in the driveway. And I got in the spaceship.
I like your dreams better than mine.
And it wouldn't take off unless I blew a perfect bubble with my bubble gum. Which is also weird because I never chewed bubble gum. So I was chewing this gum and I blow a bubble and it'd launch 10 feet in the air and then the bubble would pop and it'd go back down like it was just sucked back down with a magnet. I blew another bubble and it went up in the air, pop, back down to the driveway. And finally, I blew a big enough bubble that it took off, and before I knew where it went, I woke up.
Damn it.
So there's your next, that's the last part.
That always happens.
Last edition of the dream I have.
The interesting part of the dream is always
the bubblegum powered spaceship. And the alien stuff.
What's the oldest dream you remember?
A recurring dream. Oldest one I remember started in kindergarten, so I would be 5. Mm-hmm. I was walking out the back door of my dad's house on Rommel out there, and I was watching, so I was first person walking out of the house. Then it became third person as let's call it a camera, rose out of my body from behind, and I'm looking at my body down there. And then the camera, while I'm still facing west, the camera gets in front of me, so it's facing east, and my dad's house is behind me. When it turns back around, it makes a circle, and it goes back around. The camera rises above me from behind, and I'm looking out in the camera, seeing me standing on the porch, facing my dad's yard. Then it makes a half circle and looks back east at me, but instead of my dad's house behind me, now it was my preschool. And then it's first person again, and I'm in the playground, and I see in the sky these white clouds start spinning around in a circle. Basically like a tornado, but this is blue skies, white puffy clouds. The white puffy clouds started circling each other, and then this one fat kid from the upper grades, I think middle school, high school probably, I see him get sucked up into this. There's no vortex. It's literally just a cloud spinning around.
Why did the heaviest person get sucked up?
It was the only kid I recognized.
Oh. Did other kids get sucked up?
No, just him.
Just him.
And he gets sucked up in the sky, and it's not like he got smaller in perspective as he went up. Like, no, it was just like his body disappeared, and I could just see his face, like the same size. And then he started spinning around in the clouds, and then I woke up. And I had that dream over 5 times.
5 times. Okay, so this is when you were a kid.
Yep. No idea what it means. No idea.
My first dream
It's a fun little dream, though. Yeah, what's yours?
Well, it involved predators coming after me.
The Predator? Like Lil Wayne looking Predator?
Little Wayne. Oh, you talking about Alien versus Predators?
Yeah.
No, it was, so this was the first time, the dream took place the first time my brother Zach, and I believe Noah too, because I think he used to hang out with Vincent. My brother Zach spent the night over at, Stilly's house, a friend of his, and then Noah went and he was hanging out with Vincent. Stilly's, these are Dylan's oldest brothers. So we'll actually, in a couple episodes, be having Stilly on. Mr. Stilly Swear.
You want to say what he's talking about? Hell. HE double hockey sticks.
Yes.
I'm looking so forward to that.
So Zach and Noah, they were gone, right? They were at Stilly and Vincent's house. I was sleeping in my room all alone.
Oh, no.
That night. And I had this dream where me and my brothers and our neighbor kid, Aaron, we were walking around the house, right? And the house was crawling with alligators everywhere.
Right.
And everybody was just acting normal, but I was like looking and I was like, do you guys not see these freaking big alligators here and there hanging about the house? And I think my mom was like, stop complaining about these alligators or whatever. And then I'm laying in my bed at nighttime. I thought I had woke up from the dream, right? I go to look over the edge of my bed and alligator gets me. Snatches me right in the head.
What the frick?
Yeah.
You were traumatized as a child.
So we used to watch a lot of Crocodile Hunter with Steve Irwin.
Did the show scare you?
I think I was scared because Zach and Noah were gone, and I was little. I was like 4 or so. And, I saw them as protectors. They're my big brothers. And when they were gone, I was scared. I don't know what it means, the house crawling with lizards. And everybody almost being just kind of like, who cares about these lizards? Maybe it's like ignored family issues, swept under the rug. The little kid sees the house crawling with lizards. The adults can't see it.
It's like the Polar Express.
How so?
Only the children that believe in Santa can see Santa.
Kind of reminds me of this book. Jordan Peterson talks about it in 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, where I believe the book is There's No Such Thing as Dragons. Do you remember this book?
What? No, I don't.
It starts out, I think, we'll just say the main character in this children's book name is Timmy Turner. I don't know if that's his real name.
Timmy Turner.
Probably not, because that's being ripped off from Fairly Odd Parents. But Timmy Turner, one day in his house, he sees this little cat-sized dragon. And he's like, Mom, there's a dragon in the house. And Mom's like, there's no dragon. And then the dragon keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he keeps trying to tell the adults, there's a dragon in the house. And nobody's listening till the house gets lifted up off the ground and is on top of the dragon's head. And the dragon's flying through the air with the house on its head. And the mom is just inside, vacuuming and whatnot. And the parents are just ignorant of it until they acknowledge that our house is flying through the sky. There's a dragon. And then finally, once that happens, the dragon shrinks down back to small size. And everybody's like, well, I guess there was a dragon in the house. And
is there a point to that story?
yes,
Like, that's a cool story.
Jordan Peterson said that, I don't know if this is the like actually emphasized in the book or if he's just being all, the hidden meaning is it's no joke. But Jordan Peterson said that it represents parents, your things your parents sweep under the rug. And
I don't know. Not here.
can we edit that out?
Just little girls asking where their mom is. Sorry.
Have you seen my mama?
We should leave that in.
It's like sweeping family issues under the rug and avoiding them. And if you avoid them and sweep them under the rug, eventually it rips the whole house off from its foundation. You have to acknowledge the dragons dwelling in your house while they're still small before they get too big and rip the house off its foundations.
The house didn't come crashing down onto the ground when the dragon shrunk and kill everybody?
I don't know. This is like a translation of because I'm recalling it from Jordan Peterson's book, and Jordan Peterson's quoting it, in his philosophical way that he does. That could have been what my dream was about. Another one that I had was, I was around the same age. There were these cows chasing me through the is on the farm, back on the farm, and they're wearing like these long trench coats, like like detectives in old films would used to wear.
They're
standing up.
Were they running on 2 feet?
Yes. That's not any reasonable, obviously. And they were coming after me, and they cornered me in the barn. And then our horse, she was a painted horse named Dee Dee, steps in front of me and she tells me to get up in the hay, and then she says, "Get away from." No. I skidoo. Like you ever watch Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
Blue skidoo. We can too.
Yeah.
So I skidooed up into the hayloft, right? And then Dee Dee, the horse, skidoos up there with me, sitting in front of me, and says, "Stay away from my boy." And then the dream's over.
Was the horse your mother?
Maybe.
Your brothers? Your dad?
Maybe. The horse was certainly trying to protect me from, again, something trying to get me. I'm either trying to get something or something's trying to get me. I'm either the chased or the chaser.
I don't think I've ever been the chaser, but I've definitely been the chased.
I have been the chaser.
Have you ever tried to run from something in a dream and you can't move because your legs are stuck in molasses? Not literally, but you're trying to run, but it's stupid slow-mo.
It's like you have these abilities, but then when you acknowledge the abilities or try to use them, they go away.
I remember a dream. I have no idea how old I was. I was in the basement of my grandma's house, just trying to run around and go up the stairs because something was chasing me, good or bad, don't know. Could have been something evil, could have been just my uncle playing with me. I really don't remember, but what I do remember is taking off to run. It's just I just couldn't move my legs. It's just really slow.
Your limbs are made of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
78 minutes in, an hour 18.
Minutes in. Well, we'll wrap up this segment.
I feel like we could keep going on this for a while.
We could.
It's kind of fun.
Do you want to?
Nah, that was my most significant one, is those ones recently.
For sure.
I do, however, feel like I'm going to have more in that same setting.
Yes.
Something tells me they're not done.
Keep us updated.
Yes, sir.
And I will keep you guys updated on my dreams of being chased and chasing. One thing I would like to close on for this segment is on episode 3, we were talking about the muse, and Jonathan was asking me about the visions that the prophets received or where the books of the Bible came from. And personally, I think what I lean towards is something like what we talked about with the muse. Your description of reaching up and just grabbing these things. Like they saw these things, it was ruminating in their mind, right? It did come from the mind, but who feeds the thoughts into the mind? You know, what's going on with our subconscious when these stories unravel? Symbolic, meaningful, maybe foreshadowing things of the future.
If I could expound on that lyric a little bit, I would say when I'm writing, and like I've tried to do like really overly complicated rhymes just for the sake of good writing, and it's like you write the first line, and it can be anything. Your goal then is to come up with what rhymes with that and keep it going, and then like kind of like crossword puzzle these lines together. What order do these rhymes go? What do I say with these words? But like once you write the first one and that rhyme's there, you know what syllables you're going to accent for the rhyme. It's boom. It's like there's just a million, like a pile of words that it's almost like if you go on Google and say words that rhyme with whatever, and then you go on rhymezone.com and like, or merriam-webster.com that show you the rhymes, you can just read them all right there. That's how it kind of is in my head. Like, the words are all there. That, like, I say, this is the rhyme, and these are potential rhymes with it. Which ones do I want to use? Which ones do I pick out and use in what order to say what? Like, there's just a pile of them, and I'm kind of, like, digging through them, like, ooh, this word here, and this word here. And
you talked about, in that episode as well, you develop, cultivate skills to help you know how to grab hold of it, right? And where to put it in place.
The writer's block songs. That's when you make something and or just the crappy songs. You make a bunch of stuff.
About the good ones.
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, okay.
You write the bad ones and you throw them on the back burner. You might never use them, the music, and then that keeps your skill active and you're getting better and better. So then when the day comes when you do have that song where you just feel an instant message that you got to say with this music, or an instant, like just 4 lines, or just boom, they're right in your head. You write them down and like, wow, there's a fourth of my verse right there. All those practiced songs that you threw away, I think, are what leads you to being the most receptive in that moment of inspiration, because those are that's the practice to get your technical skill, and you can write songs with that technical skill. You can easily, and it gets easier the better you get. But by getting better and better, when you have those moments of inspiration, it just falls like you vomit a song out. Yes. It's just right there, like the music, it's bam, 30 minutes, then lyrics, bam, 30 minutes, got a whole song.
So going with that thought of knowing a skill that knows you have helps you be able to approach these and put them in their proper place. Perhaps the prophet or the shaman, they were part of a deeper tradition that taught them how to be familiar with the subconscious, the unknown, where these dreams reside, where they are spawned from. And just like a songwriter, they were part of a tradition that they knew how to access it, how to perhaps know their way around it.
It's like if you're a woodworker, and you start out making 90-degree cuts and just basic table saw, skill saw, miter saw kind of stuff, and then you start practicing and doing some bandsaw curve cuts and start messing with angles, and then you take it a step further, the next project, start doing rabbets and dados and mortises and tenons and biscuits, and then next time you use your router. Well, by getting up to that skill, someday when you go to sleep and you just see something really cool made out of wood in your head, you know how to make it. Because even if you saw that when you started, you might not be able to make it, because you don't have the skills yet to do it. But by practicing and cultivating those skills, now in that moment of inspiration, you're like, oh, that's really nice. It's easier to make it because you've already gotten the skills to do it, and you're just waiting for the inspiration. But in the meantime, you're still making good stuff. But when that inspiration comes, it's like you know exactly what to do and how to do it.
So maybe encountering the muse, traversing the dreamscape, it's just like woodworking. Something you got to get familiar with. A part of yourself you got to get familiar with. Maybe not.
That's why you're supposed to get better and better at meditation the more you do it too.
Yeah. Sam Harris has talked about basically a level of meditation that can be practiced to where you can basically cultivate a psychedelic state, a psychedelic trip.
I've
simply
heard
through
that-
meditation.
Yeah, I've heard it said too that like mushrooms are like a shortcut to achieve what takes years of meditation practice can get you.
Maybe.
The difference is that the meditation practice makes you know how to interpret what you see when you get to that point.
I think setting is a big aspect. Like, there's a lot of people who take mushrooms in like a party setting to where I certainly don't think they reach the same meditative state as like a monk or a guru or.
I think that's just you're trying to find some cool geometry.
Yeah.
See the colorful squares bouncing around.
Certainly, though, there are certain people who treat that tradition with respect, and they've garnered like very special things from that experience.
Sean Ryan on his podcast talks in depth about his psychedelic mushroom experience, and that's how he did it. He was respectful, was very intent on getting out of it whatever he needed to learn or see, and was careful about it. Had a good place, had good people around him, and it's kind of like the ayahuasca journeys too. Where
Typically
it's important to have
a shaman.
Yep, a shaman lead you in a small group of people in the right setting with your medics there, just in case, and just be safe about it.
And this is also an emerging realm in therapy, where they give people a microdose of psilocybin mushrooms, and they're able to open up. They're able to talk about trauma. They're able to access repressed memories, and some people experience a lot of healing. I'd say it's all about setting and having the right person to guide you through it, though.
I want to try regression therapy. 'Cause, man, my memory
Everybody should.
has such big gaps in it that a couple people I've told that to, they're like, it's kind of a usual sign of trauma, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you just
usually.
suppress this whole area of memory. I'm like, well, if that's the case, either my memory sucks or I was one heck of a traumatized kid.
There was like years of my life that I was just thinking about today that I was like, I forgot about that season. And I'm somebody that, like, I have a good memory.
I think you do.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a lot of things. I remember, like, moments from years ago, but there's some that I just, like, the gap is gone. It's a gap.
Do you remember that bonfire? You, me, and Zach at Zach's house?
Yes, that was unforgettable. That was traumatic. I'm surprised I still remember it.
That was one of my best memories.
Do you want to wrap this segment of the episode up?
That sounds like a plan.
All right. Let's move over to the next segment.
Which is...
music recommendations, and then we'll put a cap on this. Do you have any music recommendations for our... Because some people reached out to me and said that they enjoyed hearing us talk about music. So,
well, you know what? Narrow it down to a genre, and I'll tell you who my favorite artist is.
not favorite artist, just like a song they should check
A
out.
song?
Or an album.
Well,
Or
I mean,
band.
like metal, rock, country, rap.
This is your suggestion, buddy. I have my own suggestion.
Hole in Your Head by Echo off his Pressure album that came out this year. Love that song.
And since we've been talking about dreams and
EKOH, Echo, that is.
dreams, another just kind of the surreal vibe, I would say 2 songs to check out would be Bethlehem WV or West Virginia by Me Without You, or 9 Stories by Me Without You.
There's this song that one of my friends sent me to ask me what the song is about, and I listened to it, and I'm curious to know what somebody else might make of this song. It's called Umbra, Umbra by Ghost.
Oh, I
And-
love that band.
We can't decide if it's about like a child sacrifice or like a ritualistic gay cream pie in church. For like,
Probably just the vibes you're putting off. It's probably about the abuse of like clergy members abusing children in church.
either way, it's a very dark song. But it's just like, what do these lyrics mean? There's not even a lot of lyrics. But
I'll have to check it out
it's
now.
a mystery. It's a mystery.
So check those songs out. I think you'll enjoy those songs if you kind of like my songs that I suggested. If you're kind of like a bit of a like hippie vibe, you know, it best enjoyed in a nice evening where the sunset is a little pink. You know, beautiful sunsets we're currently having with this Canadian smoke, despite the bad condition that we're getting the smoke from. Certainly does make for a beautiful sunset.
If you want to talk about rap and hip hop, I'm all ears in that area of the strange world of music also.
Certainly.
So with that, I think we'll wrap this up.
All right, my fellow strangers, let's keep traversing this strange world with inquisitiveness,
Curiosity.
and let's remember to be neighborly towards folks, because at the end of the day, we're all strangers in a strange land. So until next time, peace.
Toodles.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?